Hello, happy Monday. It's time for a new trading week and let's get into the charts. This week I want to show you how to draw support and resistance, how to find interesting price areas on your charts. And we will take a look at a few live charts. But first of all, I want to say that if you want to meet me, I will be at a trading event in Krakow, which is in Poland. It's a beautiful city, so if you want to come, bring your girlfriend, your spouse, or your friend, and you can have a great time. You can meet me and other traders. I will give a talk there as well about my trading system, and we can also hang out there. It's on 16 and 17 March this year, so 2 months from now. Here you can see me. I'm one of the speakers. If you're interested, I will also put a link in the description below. The event is called FX Cuffs, FX and then CUFFS. You can just go to their website, you get some information. They have an English website as well, so you can check it all out. And I would be really glad if we could, and I would be really thrilled if we could meet up, meet some more of you, have a good time and talk about trading there. But let's get into the charts. And last week was a very interesting week. The US dollar was definitely the weakest one, without any news even, and without many or any macroeconomical drivers. So it was purely technical driven, which is kind of interesting. And it makes a continuation of this trend likely. You can see here when we look at our strength meter, we have here for the past week now, the euro US dollar is on top, with the euro the top performer, which is also very interesting because it makes it harder for the ECB, or it will be interesting to see what the ECB does with the euro at those significant highs. At one point the euro will be too high for the ECB, and then they will probably have to step in. The Japanese yen is here at the second place, and then you can see all the other pairs are just clustered here. So euro and the Japanese yen were the top performers against the US dollar, which got pretty much a big beating last week. But now let's get into the charts. We can see here the euro US dollar broke his 121 level. Let's go to the daily, to the weekly chart, and we can see here where we are in the big picture. So you can see the 121 was here previous resistance. It was a previous support. Interesting, we broke above that. Now early on Monday now, Europe is just getting started. We have a bank holiday in the US. We are moving. The next area here is just from 123 around until 125, so quite a big area, but you can see here a lot of trading action in this area. It's not a super big support and resistance area, but I think it's still interesting to watch here. Also, when will the ECB step in and talk about the euro? That will also be kind of interesting. The major support or resistance area now in this case, if we move into this from below, is only here, which is quite a distance away. It is at 128, so I don't really expect to see it very soon, but this is a major area. We have another small area here before that, which is here, this area. If we get rid of our zone, then we can see it. This is here the area at 125.1. You can see has been resistance and support on this break and retest. We had a little bit of reaction previously, but not too much. So it will be interesting to see where will the euro find resistance, or will it find resistance? It could just as likely just go up. You can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks now, or 4. We are in the 5th week. 4 weeks of very strong bullishness. You can even argue that is a head and shoulders or inverse head and shoulders here on the euro US dollar. So this will be also interesting to see how will this play out. We had here the neckline a little bit steep, but you can see how this is trending, and it's a very interesting market. Then we can take a look here. What else do we have? Let's take a look at the Aussie. Singapore is very interesting. Also, when we take a look at the drawing levels and how to analyze a chart, let's go down to the daily first. So you can see here we have been in a very, very good run. Remember, if you are one of our pro students, this was a nice setup here. We traded it long from our regular entry here, a very good signal. And now we are breaking some support and resistance areas. So here was a very interesting area. You can see this was a demand or a supply zone, I should say. Price traded in this area, and then we dropped away from it very significantly, very strong. So a very nice supply. When we moved into this area, we found a little bit of resistance, but we never really saw any selling pressure. We just had one red bar, and then we kept moving higher. So even though this was a supply area, we did found short-term resistance, but over the long term, you can see we are now moving higher. The next area, or we can even extend that back to see where is this level coming from. Very, very interesting. Here we have even further back, we can extend that back. We have support here, support, resistance, we have some reactions here, we have support again here, and then this is a very important area, but this time it did not hold and we just brushed through it now. The next area is here. This is a previous swing low point. Those can be also interesting, and they can also act as resistance now going forward. So this will be interesting. It's the level of 105, and I always think that it's important to note such patterns here and such swing points. They can be quite important as well. Then let's take a look at what else do we have. We have the US dollar and the Japanese yen. Let's take a look at a few key levels here. The US dollar, Japanese yen with a weak US dollar, strong Japanese yen was a huge mover last week. You can see here we dropped into this support zone. Where did we get this from? Just look at the previous price action. So here was where the main confluence is in this level. We have a resistance. We have a little bit of resistance here as well. Support, some reactions here. So quite interesting. Here a very good support bounce, and this time the level does not seem to hold. Price is very, very weak here. When we take a look at the dollar index, we will see that as well. Price is looking like it can break this area. So where is the next area here for this one? Here is a lot of demand in this area, because I will show you now. So here is where I see a lot of demand. You can see the wick here was a very strong, showed a very strong rejection. When we zoom in, you can see we shot lower. This is what we call in supply and demand trading a spring pattern. Then we immediately turn around on the spot and start this huge uptrend. So this is an area around 110 that you need to watch on your charts. If you are looking for a buying opportunity, wait until you get a signal here. If you want to learn how I trade those markets, make sure to check the link in the description below, the second link after the event, and you can learn my trading strategy step by step as well there. Then let's take a look at what else do we have. We can take a look at gold, because I think it's also quite interesting here. We are in a very good bull market here for gold. Where's the next resistance? Obviously, the next resistance will be here. Our market top, we have a little bit more top action and top confluence in this area. So here you can see this is a major top from 2016, mid of 2016. So very, very interesting. It's the 1370 area, which is just above here our last year's resistance area. We have seen a very strong reaction here at those areas, especially here you can see we came into this after a few months of a trend. And then here we found resistance. We immediately turned around with a strong rejection, then sold off. So this will be quite interesting. Can gold, the first question obviously, can gold make it here? And if it can, then what will happen here? Will the seller step in again? Will there be again a supply in this market at this area, which is around 360? Then this will be quite interesting. To the downside, we have here now our interesting support and resistance area. You can see here it held previously. We have one rejection and reaction here. We have a little bit of reaction here on the way down. Here as well, we stayed below that, but then eventually we broke above that. So an interesting area, but it does not seem to carry too much weight. Price does find some support and resistance here, but then eventually we break, or we always broke through this one. So 360 will be the one to watch in the coming days, probably here, if price continues its uptrend. Then let's take a look at a very challenging market, and one where a lot of people get burned. So the euro Swiss franc, it is what I would call the widow maker, and I just made that up, so it is not a pattern. We have here this huge uptrend here. It is an uptrend. I know a lot of people are trying to short this market because they think the price action does not look too strong, but what happens here, price goes up and up and up and up. At no point do we break the lows. We always go high. We have higher highs and higher lows here. We never see any real selling action. So if you see such a market where you have a feeling or a gut feeling or whatever you want to call that, a gut feeling is never enough to get into a trade. As long as you see that the trend structure is holding higher highs and higher lows all the way. We never even once broke this trend structure here, even though it might not look too strong here, and even though we might have some range behavior here, the market can go higher and higher and higher here. So always make sure that you never short a market that is going up. Always wait that if you want to trade a reversal, wait until you see clear signs. With the euro being so strong, there's a good chance that the trend will continue. And even if it doesn't, it just can go sideways. And if you are short already, this will be very, very painful. So this is a good reminder why if you want to get short, you always wait for a very clear signal. And that is what I always tell our traders, and I help them to understand as well. So never ever go short when the market is already going up. That is a very, very bad idea. Then let's take a look at the Aussie US dollar and find some levels here. Very nice trend structure. If you are a pro member, you will remember. Probably I know a few people took that trade. Very good reversal structure here. Good trend following entry then. Long. And now where can we find resistance? So obviously the huge ultimate top for in a few weeks probably. Don't expect to see that coming anytime soon, but you can see here the last 3 candles were very strong, so we might have a chance of seeing it earlier than we think. This is going to be the most interesting and the longest term level for now. In the meantime, here we are just breaking this area, which is a good support resistance confluence area. You can see here again a little bit of reaction here, here as well, here as well. We are now about to break it. It is an intraday candle. The daily chart is just getting started here in Europe early Monday morning. So we have to see what happens. Will we get a rejection? Will we get a break? Will we get a break and a retest maybe? So there are 3 possible scenarios. Of course, rejection, the break and the retest into the highs here maybe, or the easiest one, the quickest one will be here just a move into the highs. So whatever your plan is, make sure that you have some confluence around that you have a trading system that allows you to build confluence with different signals without just blindly jumping in. You really need confluence in your system. That is what you will learn from me if you decide to join our course. If not, then you should create a system for yourself that uses a lot of confluence, and it would help and make a big impact in your trading. And that's it, I think, for this watch list. We can take a quick look at here the dollar index. You can see here major gap down, very, very weak, no attempt to close this. You can see here we are at the lows. We are just breaking this low. We have already long broken this one, and to the downside there's really not a lot that could stop price here from falling. The first area here where we might see some problems is this area. You can see here it's a triple top, very, very strong rejections every time we came into it. After we moved into this now, before as on a rally, we saw a little bit of a pause, not too much, and then we broke high above that. So below this or between those levels here, the low of 90.9, and we have here 89.3. There's not a lot here that would or could cause some struggles for price. So it will be completely up to the price action. And let's see what happens this week. There's a US bank holiday, as I said in the beginning, so will be interesting to see if the strong trends from last week continue, or what happens here with the central banks, and if anybody stops in steps in. So I hope you enjoyed this little preview, a few lessons about how to draw and find important areas. If you are interested in joining our price action course and learn my exact trading strategies with the weekly setups that I share in our forum, make sure to check the link. If you would like to join me and listen to my trading strategy, that's my profile here. And I will be at the event in Poland March 16 and 17, and it will be a great time. So I really look forward to meeting some of you there. I know already that a few have messaged me that they will come, and I really look forward to that as well. So I wish you all a great trading week. See you in the next video, and happy trading.